Hello and welcome to the CRM Zen Show, where we talk about all things Zoho. This is episode 262. Come on, click the noise. For Friday, August 4th, 2023, from Zenatta Consulting, I'm Brett Martin.
And I'm Tyler Colt, and let's get right on into the show.
How are you doing, Tyler? Has the week been good to you?
Doing good, staying very busy. Coming up on my birthday, upcoming Monday. So, I'll be turning
What's your birthday?
28. Monday, August 7th. You didn't have it in your calendar already? I thought you were flying out to surprise me.
I know. That's a big day. Well, I have not had so great a week. It was I had a colonoscopy yesterday, Tyler. That was exciting. I don't recommend them to anybody. No.
We'll be showing slides from that later in the podcast. So
at the end of the show, we're going to have some of those. Yeah. I've got a whole graphic, of the whole colon and the little hot spots. But no, everything was good there. But, they did knock me out with that fentanyl, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not kidding you. They're like, we're going to put you out. We're going to give you fentanyl. I'm like, fentanyl, really? Yeah. And all I can say is I understand the attraction, okay?
I bet.
It was crazy. I was counting down. I'm like, okay, it's 8:34. I'm going to count down here. Next thing you know, I'm at home in bed. I literally have no recollection of anything past that point. So, but evidently we went and had some food, and I don't remember anything. So, all right, guys. With that, let's get right on into the news. Alrighty, as always, if you would like to, I should say news, let's get into the events and announcements. We don't have any announcements, but if you are wanting to find out all of the events in the world of Zoho, we keep track of them all over on Club Zenatta, and on Club Z is where you will find them all. So we've got all of the announcements that all of the events we're doing, which is always the CRM Zen Show, Azaz, and then in just a few short days, Tyler, we're doing a deep dive into Zoho telephony utilizing Zoho Voice and other solutions. This is really going to be just a telephony overview across the board of basically the telephony solutions that are out there, phone bridge, all of those kind of things. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting dive, really deep dive going into these the possibilities you have with not only telephony, but SMS and all things voice as it relates to Zoho. And then Zoho's got some events coming up as well. You can customize Writer to suit your business process. That's coming up August 9th. And on August 17th, they've got the Creator Tech Connect Series 2023 Deluge and Cloud functions in Zoho Creator. So you can check that out as well. And I also recommend on this Creator Series, if you haven't, just head over to YouTube and check out Greg's series of videos on Zoho Creator. I think you will find that to be extremely helpful. And if you don't know, Club Z is our online community, and we would love it if you would join it. You can check out our code shares that we do every week, things we noticed, our general discussion. We keep track all the news that we're going to talk about on this show. We actually kind of post it in real time as we unearth it during the week. You can drop your questions for Azaz. That's Ask Zenatta Anything About Zoho. That's another weekly show we do where we answer all your questions. You can go ahead and drop those in here as well. And we would love it if you would participate at Club Z. And with that, let's get right on into the news. For real this time. Well, Tyler, we've not talked about Canvas Builder in quite a while, but they've made some major improvements to it. I guess for those who aren't familiar, Canvas Builder is kind of Zoho's design-it-yourself page builder for the modules inside of Zoho CRM, allowing you to kind of build out custom views for your team so you can focus on what you want to. It's been around a while, and we've kind of it has some issues with scalability, but it's just gotten better and better and better. This was originally announced at Zoholics 2019, so we're 4+ years into it. And these seem to be, a lot of nice little UI adjustments, really getting down to some nitty gritty as to how you're building your pages. They've got a nice zoom function here if you're watching us on YouTube, so you can get in and just make sure everything is pixel perfect as you lay these things out. A lot of, for lack of a better word, beautification elements that you can do in here to make things even look prettier. I know we have not really done much with Canvas Builder. Have we looked at it recently and kind of played around with it much?
Not in a while. I mean, a lot of the times for us, we kind of do the work per client's direction, right? And oftentimes with Canvas, it's kind of a quick walkthrough and then they want to run with it. Like we're not designers at heart. We get UI design, laying things out in organized fashion. But yes, we haven't done a ton inside of Canvas View. It is one of those things that, for I think a lot of clients, it's nice to have, not a need to have, right? So it's going to come, far on the tail end of an implementation.
Yeah. When it very, very first came out, we did a contest among everybody to, do some stuff in our CRM and build out some Canvas. And, it was a little early at that point in time. But if you are a Canvas builder user in CRM or you've thought about it, now might be the time to try it out. Some nice enhancements here to Canvas Builder. Alrighty, and moving right along, we had to put this one in. Just, if you're watching us on YouTube, just for the animation that is running on your screen right now. Anyway, Zoho Cliq has built-in noise cancellation into Zoho Cliq. So
now this is canceling. It sounds like the noise around you that you would hear, right? This is like for your headphones. This is not canceling the noise that the person on the other line will hear in the background, right? That's kind of what it seems like. A little odd, because most of the time, noise cancellation is just built into the headphones, right? I mean, that's kind of the primary way that this is done. So I guess they're going to put their own layer there. Cool to have. My concern is always, over the past maybe year, 18 months, we've seen some issues in the call, especially video call quality in Cliq. I have gotten into the habit of just calling people internally on Zoom rather than Cliq so that the AV quality is a lot better. Little concerned about adding extra compute, right? Sitting in the middle on these calls, given that there's already some odds and ends, right, that are causing problems there. Cool feature though, definitely nice to have, but really, I mean, generally is just solved by the headphone manufacturer, right? That they do the active noise cancellation that way.
Well, I mean, this is more like Crisp AI. So that's a software tool that you can run on your PC that does active noise cancellation, non-environmental. So it's actively canceling out the noise. Right now I have it running, and if Freddie was to take me full screen here for a quick minute, I don't think anybody can hear this, but over my shoulder, I've got a fountain running. Anyway, you'll have to trust me on that next time I go full screen. There it is. Anyway, there's a fountain running there, and I don't think anyone can hear it. Can you hear that, Tyler?
Nope, no fountain.
Probably not. That's because we're using Crisp, which is active noise cancellation, which takes that noise, isolates it, and takes it out. That's what they're doing here. It's kind of cool. I mean, I wonder though what you end up with. Like if I have Crisp running and then you've got active noise cancellation going on Cliq. I agree with you though. I mean, we left an article out here because we're going to cover it, but there was Cliq had some crazy outages this week. All kinds of things happening based upon an update. And so, hopefully this doesn't kill bandwidth and compute power too much. But it's nice to have, I would imagine. My guess is
never hurt.
Yeah, maybe Zoho developed this themselves. My guess is it's probably some open source thing that's being plugged in. Who knows?
Could be, yeah.
Anyway, there you go. That's active noise cancellation for Cliq. Enjoy, everybody. All righty, and moving on. Hey, this is kind of cool. So in Zoho Forms, you now have the ability to upload audio and video clips. Super handy on mobile. You can basically just record the clip directly on your mobile device. It'll upload on the form, and it will also use your camera on your phone as well. So you can say, hey, take a look at this and set it up on a form. I could see this for tech support, for anything. Pretty cool. Nice integration.
Yeah, it does look nice. I mean, assuming this will write to CRM, kind of the attachments related list. Similarly, the thing with forms is not just about the form, it's about where it goes, right? Once it gets submitted. So I'm assuming those are going to pass through along with the form submission itself. Definitely some interesting use cases here. Maybe doing a site visit. You've got a site visit form. You want to record a couple videos or things like that as you're on site. So yeah, pretty cool functionality. It's one of those ones that interesting got to the top of the list, but they did do a good job with it. I always like when they bake things into, the device itself. So you can use your phone's camera to take this, use your phone's audio to take this. So yeah, doesn't hurt to have it at the end of the day.
No, very, very nice. So moving on with the news. Hey, Bigin API 2.0 is out. What are we up to on CRM? 4?
5 just came out.
5.
Yeah, 5 is now hitting the shelves at a store near you for, home-based CRM, that is.
So if you're not familiar, Bigin is Zoho's lightweight, or used to be lightweight, getting more heavyweight CRM, kind of based on a Kanban view of doing things where you have pipelines and you're kind of dragging things through the various stages. Very nice for sales teams. It's included in Zoho 1. It integrates much, much better now with CRM. So if you are using Zoho CRM, and you can actually use both CRMs at the same time, Bigin and Zoho CRM. And it has been lacking a lot of features since it was released, but man, they keep adding more and more and more and more to it. And with this update, a bunch of API integrations. So take us through them, Tyler.
Maybe the big ones here, Coquel, the CRM object query language, is super nice to have. Essentially just a good way to get data from multiple modules with one API call. They've also rolled out the email API, so you're actually able to send an email template via API. That's really nice to have. The other alternative is that you essentially have to build the email content in the script. That's obviously not the best, right? Because now only a coder can change the email template, which not really where you want to be. So yeah, a couple of those are nice. Upload files, get files. Ideally, you're not doing a ton of file management inside of Bigin. Probably use WorkDrive or something like that. But yeah, a couple of those are going to be pretty nice to have. I will say a couple things to be aware of. There are some renames in the API. So the deals module is going to be called pipeline. The term layout is also now going to be called pipeline. And what it was pipeline is going to now be sub-pipeline. So just be aware there are some naming convention changes. Those will only matter for you if you move over to V2. You can probably keep V1 for now, but I would expect they will deprecate that eventually.
Fantastic. Alrighty, and moving on with the news. Hey, Microsoft Teams now integrates with Zoho Bookings. There you go. So if you are a Microsoft Teams user, you can now basically inside of Bookings add a Teams link that will automatically go there, and it will automatically add to your calendar as well. So
2 applications I do not like very much, but Microsoft Teams is really, really popular, right? So it makes sense how it's high on the list to get an integration built out. I personally don't like it too much, but I know lots of people use it, obviously included with the whole Microsoft tech stack. So it's going to have some pretty insane usage. It doesn't hurt to have it. Again, double check that calendar, make sure that things are going okay when Bookings actually writes there. But yeah, not a bad one to add to the stack of supported options for Bigin.
Well, some nice things here though that Bookings hasn't been doing. So meeting details are automatically added to your Microsoft calendar if opted. That's interesting because unless the CRM integration with Outlook calendar has changed, you can't write events from CRM to the main Outlook calendar. It's its own calendar.
Sub-calendar, yeah.
And so okay, guys, if you're actually able to do that, we need to do that in CRM then. And we need to be on the main calendar to get it both ways. But also for the first time I think I've ever seen in Bookings, if you change or reschedule or cancel a booking on a calendar, it's reflected in Bookings. Correct?
I don't buy it. Yeah, that's the claim. I don't buy it.
If the bookings are added to it, we're going to go check it out.
They've made that claim so many times with the Google integration, that you can, if it books through and you book it at 2 p.m. on Google and you move it, we're going to, capture that update in Bookings. It doesn't work consistently.
If you're new to the show, I had this whole thing forever and ever and ever about getting Notebook added to CRM, and Tyler is getting Bookings to work properly. And the thing is,
think with calendars. Yeah.
Since we do this news show, at least once a month, we're seeing, this is amazing. And then we go try out Bookings and it's not really working. So let us know. We would love for you to head over to Club Z or leave your comments on YouTube here and let us know if you're finding bookings is working well for you. All right. Zoho Desk, WhatsApp templates for Android and iOS. So Zoho has been doing a whole bunch with basically Sales IQ, Zoho Desk Chat, which are the same thing pretty much, or they're still the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Sales IQ and Zoho Desk Chat. And integrating it with a variety of third-party instant messaging apps. The 800-pound gorilla in the world is WhatsApp, and they did WeChat the other day. We were looking at with something with there. And so talk to us about these template builders that they're doing here, Tyler. What do they mean?
Yeah, so really, this is just the ability to create a subset of usable templates that you can use in one of these chats on a mobile device. So templates just as quick responses. They might ask for a password reset. You've got a template saying, go here, do this, right? All of those types of quick things that you want to be able to respond with, similar to an email template. They're going to have you categorize them in either marketing or utility. That's just a requirement on the WhatsApp side. They're obligated to kind of track on their end what types of messages are going through the platform. But yeah, super nice to have. If you're going to be doing anything related to customer support, you should have a lot of templates, right? Because you probably get a lot of the same types of requests coming in. So yeah, nice to have. Drop the template in, make any edits, send it out. Should save you some time when you're responding to these via mobile.
Fantastic. And they're doing it for both iOS and Android, so away we go. And wrapping up the news for this week, Zoho Workplace has kind of consolidated all of the updates that they did in the month of June. Some of these we covered, some of them we did not, so we decided we would kind of go through this. The Workplace team always is hard at work. In Zoho Mail, you can now have collections of bookmarks. If you don't know, there's a nifty little Chrome extension or browser extension for Zoho Mail that basically allows you to add bookmarks kind of as collections in Mail. So you got to add them there. They're almost like little notes you can go back to. They made some changes to, better view of your unread mails and authenticated emails from websites, some nice stuff there. They're supporting Joomla, which is really strange. So the Zoho Mail plugin for Joomla will help you send out authenticated emails that are trusted. I haven't heard of Joomla in a long, long, long time. Used to do it. I think
WordPress would be the one you'd want to get that built for, but
yeah, I mean, Joomla's interesting in that it was such it was right there with WordPress back in the day. You go back 15 years, and Drupal and Joomla, they were gonna rule the world, and just not so much, unfortunately. They had a lot of security flaws that took them down, but hopefully Joomla is doing well. Now, if you want to send authenticated emails out from Zoho Mail through Joomla, you can do that. That had to be a bizarrely specific request from some client that has a Joomla site. And you've got booking reports can now be accessed. Zoho Calendar, we talked about this offline. It has now native Zoom conferencing integration, which is big, big, big. I don't want to poo-poo this, but Tyler, you've been talking with them. This is an awesome integration, but they're still not handling recurring meetings yet. So that's something that the team needs to get on. Okay.
Yeah, I know they're working on it. They're going to support, and these are recurring meetings with a digital conferencing link, whether that's a Zoho meeting, a Zoom meeting, really any of those. They don't support it now. I know they're going to support it. There's going to be a limit in the range of 10-ish of how many recurrences a meeting can have, which still kind of makes it a deal killer, right? I mean, we've got 2 meetings a week, 15 minutes for a daily touch base with Brett, myself, and Josh Oliver, our VP of operations. So we would have to schedule a new one every 5 weeks, right? Just to get a Zoom link back onto it. So Zoho, you got to sort that out. It's a very solvable problem. Just use the same link for all the meetings. That's what Google does, and this will be solved. But nice to see, though. I mean, like the more native, video conferencing integration supported for Zoom Calendar, the easier it is for people to use it, right? Like these are the types of things, like when clients ask us, oh, why aren't you on Zoho Calendar? Why aren't you on Zoho Mail? Our answers are things like, oh, it doesn't integrate with Zoom, or, this is an issue. So they're actually working through them.
They are.
And like we mentioned a handful of times, we actually think Zoho Mail is pretty pretty awesome. I like it. Like, I like the streams. I like a lot of the functionality they have there. So we're cheering you guys on, right? But just always want to provide the little, real things that people are going to need to make the move.
Absolutely. I mean, you need that, and you also need, if you're going to do this, you need better third-party Calendly type integration bookings. So you need Calendly, you need Acuity scheduling, you need to take the top 3 booking softwares and you need to integrate those with Zoho Calendar as well. Once you do that, I'm a happy camper. So, all righty. And then Zoho Writer, you can now easily translate content. I have a feeling this is ChatGPT translation. I think we saw this before in Zoho Writer. Pretty sure. I'm trying to scam through here. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm not seeing anything. You can integrate Zoom into Zoho Connect. That's cool. We don't talk about Connect too much, but that's Zoho's kind of, what do we call them?
Intranet. Yeah.
Intranet, yes. So now you can do meetings directly out of there. Although I find that just the quick little meetings in there are just fine using the Connect software as it is. And then Zoho Meeting, you can now chat between organizers and co-organizers. So kind of a small little bug fix there. So feature fix there. All righty. And that is a lot of news for the week. And we're going to wrap that up, Tyler, and talk about our implementation of the week.
Alrighty, so this is implementation we did over inside of Zoho Analytics to essentially do a consolidated last touch report for tickets coming into Zoho Desk. So ideally, really, the goal here was that our client wanted a good report to be able to identify, for managers, tickets that had fallen outside of, what we would expect for the most recent touch if that ticket is still open. The tricky thing here is that touch could be an email response in a thread, either to the client or from the client. It could be a comment on the ticket. It could be something like a completed task on the ticket, really any of the different touches that represent for the client, like meaningful work on this ticket. So not just like an update to a field, right? Where if you were to pull a report natively in Desk and look at, most recent activity, updating the category on the ticket would count for that, but it really shouldn't because it's not a real touch where we're doing productive work. So essentially what we had to do, build out some tables inside of Zoho Analytics. The comments on tickets do not come over natively. So we did have to write a function that will, essentially each time a comment is made, write over to Zoho Analytics to store that comment there along with the ticket ID. Then we need to create some SQL tables to essentially union together all of these different data sets, whether it's the threads, whether it's the comments, the tasks, really anything that we want to count as a most recent touch. So from there, we have this master table of every single trackable activity against that particular ticket and the date at which it happened. So last but not least, right, we can essentially use this new data set to create custom reports that look at tickets that are in certain outlier ranges, right? So maybe it's open, but there's been no touch in, 7 days. Or maybe it's open and there's been a comment, but there hasn't been an email in the last 14 days, right? So you can essentially just start to create these different, potential issue categories, right? And then surface them selectively through, custom reports on top of the data. So nice build. Big shout out to Andrew for plugging in and helping on this one. I think we're actually making a couple extra little tweaks to it here over the next week or so, just to add even more functionality to it. But at the end of the day, right, this high level goal and, at a broader scope, this is a client that uses CRM, Desk, projects, really everything. So it's just another report that allows their management team to have one landing page, right? Where it's like a manager can open analytics, they can have their dashboard, and if anything's going wrong in CRM, projects, Desk, anywhere, it's on that dashboard for them, and they're able to take the appropriate action. So big just consolidation of data, really, because lots of companies, this is particularly for like an IT service provider, they have employees that work on projects work and support work, right? Where this stuff is all split between multiple applications. And so to get this level of oversight, we oftentimes end up pulling into Zoho Analytics.
Very, very nice. Nice job. That Tyler Colt guy, tell you what.
He's got a good idea every now and then. Should listen to him.
Should. Nice job, Andrew, as well, of course. All right, with that, speaking of good ideas, let's head over back to Club Z and check out the code sharing week. All righty, Tyler, Greg is back at it with the add ordinal suffix to a number. Formatting date and times into readable strings in Deluge is best done using the .toString function. By inputting the string of date-time literals, you can format a date-time into almost anything you can think of. I guess that is adding an ordinal suffix to a number, huh? So anyway, very, very cool. So I guess there are a lot of use cases for this if you're trying to output something into maybe something readable or trying to match some other format.
Yeah, kind of the idea here is that, like, let's say you have a contract expiration date field in your deal and it's set to, August 31, 2023. And you want to merge that into a contract template, for example. Well, you could just put 8-31-23, right? But for a lot of people, they say, you know what, for something like a contract, something I'm going to send to the customer, I want it to look nice. I want it to say August 31st, where that is the ordinal suffix, that ST, 2023. And it's actually trickier than you would think because the way that you can convert dates around is actually pretty easy in Zoho, but there is no format where it will actually allow you to do the ordinal suffix natively. So what Greg shows here in the code share, essentially, part one is like reformatting your dates using the normal tools. And then part two here down below is essentially looking at the number part of that and applying the proper ordinal suffix. And yes, we did have to Google what ordinal suffix meant to make sure we were talking about the right things before the show here. But yeah, you're adding the ST, the third, the RD on there to make things just look nicer, primarily for like an email, a contract, something like that that's going to go out the door that's customer facing.
Very, very nice. So it's basically your second, third, fourths. Got it.
Yep. All that good stuff. Trickiest one is the teens that he had to sort out. But other than that, right, the 11th, 12th, because they end with 2, right? So the code might think ends in 2, put RD. So you have to get a little clever with that section. But yeah, across the board, nice job, Greg, on this one.
Very, very, very cool.
At least all someone's rabbit hole that's out there trying to do this same thing.
Excellent. All right, guys. And with that, let's head on over to Zenatta.com and check out our blog of the week. So, Tyler, since this month our webinar is going to be on Zoho telephony and all things telephony, well, that also includes, I think, in a way, SMS, since they seem to be tightly related. So we're going to have a whole series of blogs this month around telephony and SMS, and this one is getting started with SMS marketing for Zoho. So it's really talking about what to look for in an SMS platform, and then going ahead and setting that up, utilizing it inside of Zoho campaigns, short codes, all those kind of things that you will want to need, and some tips and tricks on doing some SMS marketing across the board. Currently, we are big fans of message media. And if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you are listening to us and you get our newsletter, go ahead, click on this article. In it, we actually have embedded a 50% off link for the first 3 months with message media. I forgot that we even had that offer going. We did a webinar with them and they said, hey, we'll give everybody that. And it is our favorite. It just is the best currently that is out there. And so worth taking a look at there. There are a lot of options out there. Talk to someone using Magic SMS or SMS Magic. That's a good one. A lot of people like that. There are some built specifically for Ring Central. There's some good ones around that as well. There's just a whole bunch to look at when picking out your SMS gateway. If you don't care about having separate SMS numbers from your actual voice numbers, so your voice numbers are completely different, you never SMS from them, your options are, you can choose anything that's out there, right? If you want your voice number to actually be your SMS number, and you want all that SMS data to write to the CRM and do all those kind of things, great. If you don't care about the data writing to the CRM, it's wide open as well. So many variables go into choosing what is right for you. Yeah. And I think this article kind of points you in that direction.
I mean, like long-term use cases, like you need to chart out like what's the future volume that you might want to be sending, right? Because there's actually an increasing consideration of, do I need a platform that will give me a short code if I need it, right? Which a short code is like those 6-digit numbers when you get a text from Amazon, right? And it's like 813421, and not all SMS providers have the capability to lease those to you. Yes, I said that correctly. It's a lease model on those short codes. So it is something to consider. We've actually worked with clients that are doing, this is generally through campaigns, but like a lot higher volume SMS. And a lot of providers will actually say, you know what, you really should be doing this with a short code. So just something to consider as you're going through and picking these, chart out that future volume and make sure you're picking one that's going to scale. Because we've had issues, RingCentral's great. But them specifically, when we were doing high volume programmated SMS, this was for the client where there's about 10 months of paperwork after the sale, lots of notifications, this, that, or the other, with thousands of sales a day, we were blasting out their API limits. So there's some technical considerations when you get into automating that could push you towards, a Twilio or a more platform-based tool like that.
Yep. And we've talked about it before, but when you're doing SMS and maybe you have a voice number and you want to use that, in the United States and a couple other countries, not the whole world, it's kind of limited. You actually have this ability to bifurcate your number and port your SMS service to another provider. So you've got a voice number here. You can leave the voice with, say, RingCentral, and then you can take your text and move it over to, say, Message Media. And so you're handling those two things separately. There are advantages to that. There are disadvantages. So a lot to consider. This is a good starting point from a marketing basis, so you might want to check this article out. And with that, let's wrap it up and head on over to our tip of the week. All righty. This is from one Drew Brockbank, and this is lifted directly from our Zoho project team training. So if you are not familiar, we have recently rolled out an entire series of team training programs. It's one flat price for your entire company, so you pay the same rate whether you have 5 people or 500 people. And we've got CRM done, and now projects has been done. And this is actually a snippet from that, and to give you an idea what it's all about, but a useful tip, and it's creating a new project. So a nice little 8-minute video on creating a new project lifted from that overall course. So good stuff there.
Yeah, check this video out. If you find it pretty useful, you can actually jump over to zenatta.com/training. There you can actually request some additional sample videos. So we'll send you 10 samples, just so you can kind of see some additional kind of info about what's in the course, how the videos are structured. So yeah, we invite you to check it out. If it's interesting to you, grab that sample. Again, it's free. And if those 10 videos are great, maybe consider picking it up for the whole organization. But we hope you find the little video here useful.
Fantastic. And with that, we are going to wrap up yet another week of the CRM Zen Show as we head into our 6th year, Tyler.
Wow, look at
that. Our 6th year of doing this show. We want to thank everybody who watches the show, everybody who's joined. If you have any questions, you'd like to reach out and speak to myself, Tyler, or anybody over here at Zenatta, just go to zenatta.com and click on Book a Meeting.
On the website is where you'll find complete episodes of the show, as well as links to all the stories we discussed today. If you want that news delivered straight to your inbox every Monday morning, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. And as always, we would appreciate if you would like and subscribe here on YouTube, as well as your choice of podcast app. We'll see you next Friday.
Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.